The story begins with Lola, a girl as beautiful as the moon, who was on a secret and unusual trip with her lover Danny. Lola started preparing food herself, feeling happy with him and enjoying the peaceful atmosphere. But the next morning, Lola woke up to something strange. She found Danny's grown son in the house, and his name was David. Lola was completely shocked and became extremely nervous because of his sudden presence. She was terrified that David might discover the secret relationship between her and his father, because absolutely no one knew anything about them, and their entire story was hidden in secrecy. So she quickly went downstairs to greet him and understand why he had come at this exact moment. When she reached them, Danny introduced her to his son David. Danny told David that Lola was a skilled engineer who had come specifically to help him. He also explained that the house needed many renovations, and that was why he had asked Lola to prepare architectural designs for the new house he was building on the island. But in reality, Lola was not an engineer at all and had nothing to do with architecture. She was simply his secret lover. At that moment, David asked his father in surprise, "Does my mother know anything about this new house project?" When Lola heard David say that, she became even more anxious and frightened, feeling that Danny's entire plan was about to collapse. But after David finished eating and went inside the house, leaving them alone, Danny apologized to Lola and told her he never expected his son to show up suddenly and knock on the door like that. Later, Lola went inside the house to rest for a while, and suddenly she heard David talking to someone on the phone. So she picked up the landline connected to all the phones in the house and started spying on him so she could hear every word and understand why he had come there. But suddenly, David appeared behind her out of nowhere and angrily said, "Don't spy on me. These are my private matters, and you have no right to watch me like this." Lola felt deeply embarrassed and could not say a single word, so she quietly walked away and went outside to catch her breath. That night, David was still staying with them, so they all sat together for dinner at a large luxurious table. When Danny got up to go to the kitchen, leaving Lola and David alone, David looked at Lola with a sarcastic smile and told her that his father had promised him a luxury car, but only if he never mentioned his mother at all, neither about this trip nor about Lola's presence. Lola felt extremely upset by his words and started to realize that she was nothing more than a temporary game for Danny, just an experiment that would eventually pass. The next day, Lola calmly asked Danny to tell his son to leave and give them space because she did not want more problems. But Danny told her, "He's my eldest son. I can't just throw him out and tell him to leave. This is my house." He asked her to tolerate him for a few days because he would not stay long and would travel soon. Lola became frustrated and went to sit by the sea to escape from David and try to forget the ridiculous things he had said the night before. But she found David sitting beside her on the soft sand. Lola pretended not to notice him and completely ignored him, hoping he would get bored and leave them alone. But David took out his sketchbook and started drawing with intense focus. Lola's curiosity overcame her, and she asked him to show her his drawings. When she saw them, she was amazed because the drawings were true works of art. She then started talking to him calmly and asked him the real reason he had come there. David coldly replied, "I've been coming here every vacation for years. It's not my fault that you chose the exact same place I always choose." Strangely, Lola began feeling attracted to this young man, though she did not know why. Even stranger, she went with him on a small boat ride into the sea so they could change the mood a little. There, she asked him if there was any girl in his life that he truly loved. David answered honestly that he was not in love with anyone at the moment. Lola then started splashing water at him playfully, and the two of them laughed and played together like children. After that, Lola asked David to put sunscreen on her back so she would not get burned by the heat. Meanwhile, Danny, who had been watching everything from afar, was extremely surprised by Lola's strange behavior, because she was the one who had wanted David gone, and now she was sitting there laughing and playing with him. Afterward, Lola rushed to the bathroom and took out the pregnancy test she had been hiding. She discovered that she was pregnant with Danny's child. But strangely, instead of feeling happy, she became deeply disturbed when she learned the news and felt that she had fallen into a huge problem. The next morning, David went to Lola's room and sat with her for a long time talking. Lola confessed to David that she was pregnant with his father's child. But David told her, "My father will never leave my mother, even if you are carrying his baby." When Lola asked him why it was impossible for his father to divorce his mother, David explained, "Half of my father's properties are registered under my mother's name. If he ever asks for a divorce, she'll take all the companies and buildings, and he'll end up with nothing to eat and nowhere to live." Naturally, when Lola heard this, she became furious and deeply upset, because she had wanted her relationship with Danny to end in marriage. But David continued speaking and said, "You're not the first secret lover my father has had. I've seen many girls before you, and they were all hidden relationships." He also told her that his father used to bring those women to this exact same house, take everything he wanted from them, and then throw them out of his life with complete ease, and that he would do the same to her. Lola went crazy from his poisonous words and immediately ordered him to leave her room. While they were having lunch later, Lola asked Danny, "Do you really love me, or are you just playing with me and planning to leave me like the girls before me?" At that moment, David was about to get up and leave so they could speak privately, but Lola stopped him and said, "No one is leaving this table. Everyone will hear this conversation." Danny remained silent and gave her no answer. So she asked him again angrily, "Do you love me or not?" But once again, Danny said nothing. At that moment, Lola became certain that everything David had told her was true. So she stood up, turned the music on loudly, and asked David to dance with her. Lola was doing this on purpose to make Danny jealous and provoke him. And it worked. Danny became furious with jealousy. He grabbed Lola by the arm, dragged her into his room, and angrily warned her to stay away from his son and stop trying to play games with him. When Lola refused to listen, Danny lost his temper and hit her. After that, Danny went to David, humiliated him, threw him out of the house, and ordered him to disappear from his sight. But Lola ran after David and tried to catch him before his father forced him away. However, she could not find him because David had already gotten into a car passing on the road and left the entire island. Danny then told Lola, "Forget David and live peacefully with me." But Lola ignored his words and went searching for David until she finally found him sitting alone by the sea, looking lonely and heartbroken. David told her, "There's no way I can ever return to that house after the humiliation I experienced." Lola replied, "I don't want to return to that house either." She took him with her, and together they went to another hotel where they booked a single room to spend time together. Meanwhile, Danny called Lola and begged her to come back home and forgive him. At the same time, David went into the bathroom. Lola waited for him for hours and eventually became worried, so she knocked on the door and asked, "Are you okay? Is something wrong?" David did not answer. So she entered the bathroom and found him sitting in the bathtub crying. He told her, "I never meant to ruin your relationship with my father. I'm sorry." Lola felt sympathy for him and gently told him, "Don't worry about it. Don't think about this anymore." Then Lola quickly went downstairs and bought him new clothes so they could go out together and clear their minds. They walked together by the sea, trying to forget everything that had happened. David confessed to Lola that he had loved her from the very first moment he saw her. He asked her to run away with him, leave Danny behind, and live together as a couple. Strangely enough, Lola actually agreed. She realized that she truly loved David, and that it was not just a temporary attraction. The two of them spent their time happily dancing in the streets, growing closer and closer, feeling as though they were two souls in one body. And when they returned to the hotel room, they embraced each other with love and comfort. The following day, Lola went back to Danny's house. Danny was happy to see her and thought she had forgiven him, but she had only returned to say goodbye. She made it clear to him that everything between them was over. And Lola truly followed through with her decision. She took her belongings, left Danny, his company, and all his money behind, because she finally understood that true happiness comes from being with someone who genuinely loves and cares for her, not with someone selfish whose only concern is his own desires and pleasures without thinking about anyone else around him. That is why Lola decided to live with David forever. If you enjoyed the movie, don't forget to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss any new content we upload.